Alright, so a couple of months ago I made a video in which I defended The Amazing Spider-Man 1. This video also featured my good friend BughenDove. In fact, it prominently featured him. He was in more of the video than I was. There are multiple ways I could have fixed this. After all, the video was on my channel. No offense to BughenDove, but if it's on my own channel, it should probably feature me for more of the video. Well, I guess I didn't do that. Lo and behold, I'm now making a follow-up video, specifically about The Amazing Spider-Man 2. In the original video, I was very critical of this movie. But the thing is, Buggen really wasn't critical of the movie in his part of the video. I have spoken to him, and he actually does like both movies. After rewatching The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I have to say that I found that there is actually a lot more to like about this movie than I originally thought. So let's go ahead and break down why I think that. Nearly all of my complaints are unfortunately still valid, but I think that there are certain aspects to this movie that make it a really good movie about Spider-Man. I really like the web-swinging scenes, the fight scenes, and some of the slow-motion scenes in this movie. The web-swinging scenes in particular are done really well. The camera is up close and is following every movement Spidey does, making it feel like you are Spider-Man. This is missing in the new MCU Spider-Man movies. In those movies, you're usually watching Spider-Man swing from a distance. It doesn't give you the same feeling. Some of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man swinging scenes are actually like this too. Alright, moving on to this film's soundtrack. Now, I'm not exactly a music critic, so I can't go in depth on this. What I'm able to say is that the soundtrack was done by Hans Zimmer, who has made some of what's considered to be the best soundtracks ever. The Dark Knight, Interstellar, Pirates of the Caribbean, and of course, Madagascar Escape to Africa. I also really like this movie's Spider-Man suit. It's fantastic. It's the comic book suit brought to life. I can easily imagine that Andrew Garfield is actually wearing it. And it doesn't look like a CGI cartoon character with red and blue skin. It has layers and looks realistic. The suit in the first movie looked even more realistic. It is a little weird that the suit now looks less homemade, but apparently there's an in-universe explanation for why it's perfect, so yeah. Okay, now let's finally talk about the story. My original complaints mainly stemmed from the fact that this movie's story tried balancing too many things at once, and only in the second movie. My best guess is that this came from studio interference. That, well, interfered with Mark Webb's original vision. This is quite a shame. I feel like this movie could have been way better if Marcus Webb would have actually been able to make it the way he wanted to. Now that may be true, but I still like a lot of things from the story. One of the most important parts of Spider-Man's mythos is a little thing called the Parker luck. Peter Parker's personal life is always negatively affected by Peter's actions as Spider-Man. There are many good examples of the Parker luck in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, just as there were in the first TASM movie. The best example of this in TASM 2 is Gwen Stacy's death at the hands of the Green Goblin. In The Amazing Spider-Man 1, Peter promised Gwen's father that he would leave her out of his life, since it was too dangerous. In The Amazing Spider-Man 2, they're a couple again, and Peter feels a lot of guilt. Throughout the whole movie, he gets visions of Captain Stacy. Deep down, he knows that what he's doing is wrong. He finds out the hard way that he should have listened to her father. It doesn't even end there. She died because of the Green Goblin, also known as Harry Osborn. Harry fell ill to a disease passed down from his father, and getting some of Spider-Man's blood would have cured this disease. Peter, as Spider-Man, refused to do this. In the end, Harry ended up injecting a serum created by Oscorp during their spider testing stages into his body. Instead of treating him, the serum merely accelerated the progression of his genetic sickness, transforming both his physical and mental bodies and driving him insane. This, along with some more Oscorp technology, is what turned him into the Green Goblin. And during his final fight with Spider-Man, he figured out that Spider-Man was Peter Parker. Harry realized that his childhood best friend refused to help him. This led to the death of Gwen Stacy. Loss and consequences are important things to the character of Spider-Man, and the Amazing Spider-Man movies represent those two things on the big screen perfectly. This movie is so close to being absolutely flawless, but it's unfortunately bogged down by studio interference. Sony tried making their own cinematic universe to compete with the MCU at that time. This movie got a lot of things right, but at the same time it got a lot of things wrong. I really hope this review was at least able to enlighten you to some of the stuff that's done really well in this movie. I'll see you guys next time.